Denny Hamlin didn't just lose a race, he lost a legacy. What just happened at Phoenix was more than a plot twist. It was an ambush. A cruel joke written by fate, sealed in rubber, and delivered by a late race caution flag. Hamlin was leading by a country mile, dominating the field with the confidence of a man who knew he was finally about to grab the one trophy that's always slipped through his fingers. And then, boom, literally. A tire gave out. But not Hamlin's. William Byron's right front exploded and the yellow flag waved like a dagger through Hamlin's heart. That single moment flipped the championship from a coronation into complete chaos. And the call Hamlin's crew chief made? Well, it's the kind of decision that follows you for the rest of your life. Let me take you back. With just 30 laps to go, all four championship contenders, Hamlin, Larson, Byron, and the fourth man in the mix, lined up 1 through 4. That's not just dramatic, that's scripted level stuff. You couldn't plan a better finish if you tried. And among them, Denny Hamlin wasn't just leading. He was gone. A full 2.5-second lead. In NASCAR, that's like lapping the field. He had 6 wins on the year. He had the best car. And he was leading when it mattered most. Then everything fell apart. Byron's blown tire brought out the caution with just a handful of laps left. And in that instant, every crew chief had seconds, to make a decision that would define their entire season. Do you pit for 2 tires to protect track position? Or go all in for 4 fresh ones and risk getting caught in traffic? This wasn't just about tires. This was about everything. Millions of dollars, years of grinding, a shot at history. Hamlin's crew went with 4. So did Larson's. But here's the difference. Larson had something Hamlin didn't. Momentum and nothing to lose. He wasn't dominating the race. He needed to make up ground. For Hamlin, the safer play might have been to take 2 and defend, hold the lead, force everyone else to fight from behind. But they didn't. And when the green flag dropped for that final restart, it was already over. Larson's car came alive like a beast unleashed. He attacked. He sliced through the field like a surgeon, each move sharper than the last. The fresh tires gripped the Phoenix asphalt perfectly, giving him the extra edge he needed. It was like watching a shark swim through minnows. Hamlin, meanwhile, was stuck. Those 4 tires didn't help him get out front. They trapped him in traffic. The advantage he had worked for all race long was wiped out. In 3 laps, everything he'd built was gone. And then the checkered flag flew. Kyle Larson didn't even win the race. Brad Keselowski did. But Larson? He walked away with the championship. His second. Let that sit for a minute. The NASCAR Cup Series champion didn't win the race. He won 3rd, or maybe 4th. But the format handed him the crown. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin, the man who had the best car, the most wins, the dominant performance when it mattered most, walked away empty-handed. Again, you could see it on his face after the race. He was white as a ghost, staring into the void. That wasn't just disappointment. That was heartbreak. That was the pain of watching your dream get ripped out of your hands in real time. 6 wins, total domination, and no championship. How does that happen? Well, that brings us to the heart of the controversy, the playoff format itself. For years, fans have argued that this system is too gimmicky, too chaotic. Under the old Winston Cup-style points format, this wouldn't even be a question. Hamlin might have locked up the title weeks ago, but NASCAR didn't want that. They wanted drama. They wanted TV. And boy, did they get it. So here's the question no one wants to answer. Are we okay with sacrificing fairness for entertainment? Do we want a champion who was consistent all year long, or the one who got hot at the right moment? Denny Hamlin didn't go quietly. After the heartbreak, after the cameras, after watching Kyle Larson hoist a trophy that by every logical measure should have been his, Hamlin finally spoke. And what he said? Well, it flipped the entire garage on its head. I did everything right, Hamlin said, his voice low, like someone who had just watched his house burn down. We had the car, we led the laps, and we made the call we thought would win us the race. And yet, here we are. But that wasn't the moment that made headlines. No, that came when Hamlin dropped this. Maybe the format's broken. Maybe we should stop pretending that this decides who the best driver is. Boom. 1 sentence. That's all it took. 1 quote to set NASCAR Twitter ablaze, to ignite the talk shows, and to divide the fan base all over again. Because here's the truth. When Denny Hamlin, one of the most respected veterans in the sport, a future Hall of Famer, stands in front of the world and calls the championship format itself into question. That's not just frustration, that's a warning. A man like Hamlin doesn't make statements like that without thinking about the consequences. He knew exactly what he was doing, and that makes it all the more powerful. The reaction was instant. Fans split down the middle. Old school loyalists rushed to Hamlin's side, saying the same thing they've been saying for years. The real champion should be decided by the season, not one race. Meanwhile, newer fans, the ones NASCAR has fought tooth and nail to attract, saw it differently. This is what makes the playoffs fun. It's pressure. It's do or die. That's what sports are supposed to be. But what if both are right? What if this system is thrilling, but also deeply flawed? The Hamlin loss was the ultimate test case. He didn't choke, he didn't get outdriven, he didn't have a bad car, he just got caught by the chaos. And that chaos is baked into the system. And maybe that's why what he said next hit even harder. "I'm not mad at Kyle," Hamlin clarified. "He ran his race. He earned what he got. But don't tell me that was justice. Don't tell me that's the way it should be." Let me translate that for you. This system doesn't crown the best. It crowns the luckiest at the right moment. That's a heavy thing to say after a season like Hamlin's. A season with 6 wins, thousands of laps led, and near-perfect execution, tossed in the trash by a late race caution and a pit road gamble that didn't pay off. And now we're all left asking the question, what happens next? Does NASCAR admit the format has flaws? Do they consider a tweak? Maybe weighting full season points more heavily? Or giving the dominant driver some kind of advantage in the finale? Or do they double down, keep chasing the drama, and risk alienating some of the sport's most loyal fans? Because let's be honest, this wasn't just a heartbreak for Hamlin. It was a warning shot for every top driver. You can win races, you can dominate, but if you're not perfect in the final 10 laps of the final race, you might as well have stayed home. Even Kyle Larson looked shocked in his post-race interview. "I didn't think we had it," he admitted. "We were fast, but Denny, he was gone. I thought he had it locked up." He wasn't gloating. He wasn't celebrating. He knew what just happened, and you could almost hear the hesitation in his voice, the quiet realization that, yeah, he won the title, but maybe the right guy didn't. And that, right there, is the problem. Champions are supposed to leave no doubt, but after Phoenix, all we're left with are questions. What if the caution didn't come out? What if Hamlin had taken 2 tires? What if NASCAR's format didn't demand perfection in a 3-lap shootout, but rewarded season-long greatness? Hamlin may never get another chance like this. He's not getting any younger, and with every season that passes, the pressure only grows. This might have been his best shot, and it slipped away, not because he failed, but because the system did. So now we're left with the aftermath. One champion, one heartbroken vet, and one sport caught in the middle of an identity crisis. Let me ask you, should Denny Hamlin be champion right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because if you think this story ends here, you're dead wrong. This is only the beginning.